What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome back to the Sooner Surge. Make sure you have subscribed to the Sooner Surge YouTube channel. Turn on your notifications, like and comment. You guys have been killing it with the comments and the likes. We really appreciate it. Today, we're covering another one of these Sooner softball athletes who was on the roster last year. This lady even played some games and got some run and recently coming off some time with the U.S. women's national softball team. We're going to really look at Avery Hodge here and what she's going to bring to this team next year, guys. This is someone who S.J. Guerin actually talked about because she played with her on some traveling ball club, and she talked about how she's the best shortstop she's ever played with. One thing we know about Avery Hodge is she is very quick. She had a lot of pinch run opportunities last year. Patty Gasso used her a lot, often in pinch running opportunities. We know she's got great lateral movement. I remember a play last year when she was actually in right field, dove laterally across her body to make a diving catch. So Avery Hodge is going to bring some great things to this team, guys.
Yeah. I think the thing that's the most intriguing about Avery Hodge is where she's going to play. We all know that Grace Lyons is gone, no longer at OU, graduated off to do great things. But who's going to replace Grace Lyons? That's the big question. I think probably one of the biggest questions of the offseason is who's going to replace Grace Lyons. And so Avery Hodge is a great shortstop. I've read multiple things about when they played against each other last year in October, I believe it was. She made some outstanding plays in that game, and so it's just a matter of where she's going to play, I think. And I think probably if you take her defense and her offense, I think her strength would probably be her defense. I think as far as the bat, I think JT Gasso, as he does all the players, just really develops them into great hitters. And I think Avery Hodge will just continue to improve in that aspect. But I think her defense is already at a great spot. Like you said, she's very athletic. I think I saw where somebody said she's one of the most athletic players on the team. And so that's exciting. I just think we'll see about where she plays. Obviously, she played shortstop. She can play second base. If they decide to move TRAN over, we saw her last year in right field. She's that athletic that she can play multiple spots.
Yeah, and coming out of high school, she was ranked as the number 4 infielder in the country, according to USA Softball. So you just talk about someone that's obviously is uber talented, and there's so much talent up and down this roster. And whether or not maybe someone didn't get as much opportunity last year doesn't mean they're not a talented player, this or that, just with how loaded Oklahoma's rosters have been. But she has a lot of experience, especially out in travel ball and on the competitive circuit, whether it's against state teams or national teams for USA Softball. She's had a bunch of success. She's hit home runs, stolen bases, been able to draw walks. She's done all that. And I think, Jeremy, as you said, her defense stands out just due to her athletic ability. She's super athletic. That's really a pretty common thing is Oklahoma on their softball team, they really have a lot of great athletes. Girls that can play in multiple spots, that can do multiple things. And I think Avery Hodge will get developed under JT Gasso. And obviously with Oklahoma needing to replace Grace Lyons at shortstop, can they turn to someone like Avery Hodge this year to start there to replace Grace Lyons? It'll be interesting to see how that competition in the fall during the battle series really goes on and into the winter, really just see separates themselves.
Hey, here's the deal. Hey, you don't replace a Grace Lyons. You don't. You do your best to try to fill those shoes that she's left, the gap that she's left. But one thing that I think is very, very interesting with what people have said about Avery Hodge, multiple sources, if you look at research on Avery Hodge, you see a lot of people talking about this aspect is the passion, the emotional leadership that she has. And I would draw comparisons of that to a Grace Lyons and the impact that maybe she will be able to have. So I would never do that to Avery Hodge to compare her to Grace Lyons but I think she's got people are drawn from what I've read to Avery Hodge and just her emotional and passionate kind of leadership that she has. So that's also exciting. And even the travel ball she was on, she chose, I think it was the Bombers, actually. It was called the Bombers, but she chose them because of the faith aspect, which tells you again, okay, she is exactly the type of lady, of athlete that Patty Gasso wants there, and she is going to fit in. She already has, guys. She's been there a year already. So
yeah, and Patty last year, after inserting in a couple games as pinch runners, I think even said she'd like to get her in every game somehow. And that's the thing about Avery Hodge is when you can be a pinch runner, when you can play multiple positions, it's like you're available to do other things. You're not just a power hitter that I can bring in to pinch hit, whatever. So she has that opportunity. And here's another thing is, and we can go back to the shortstop because I'd love to hear the viewers' comments. Who do you think is going to play shortstop this year? I would love that in the comments. Is it going to be Tiare Jennings? Is it going to be Avery Hodge? Is it going to be Alyssa Brito, who played that in the Battle Series? Is it going to be Nellie McEnroe-Marinas coming in freshman? Guys, there's a lot of opportunity. So I'm interested to see the viewers' comments on that.
Yeah, and I also think that just with Avery Hodge's ability to defend at such a high level and to run bases at such a high level, it's going to be hard to keep her off the field. And whether or not, just like Jeremy, as you said, last year, she contributed so much on the base paths with her ability to be a substitute runner, come in, run for people maybe that weren't as fast or athletic as her, score a lot of runs due to her speed. And so I think that's something that will help her this year. And she's had a year of development working with JT Gaslin practices, working in the offseason, doing all this stuff. So I expect her offensive game to obviously take another jump. And I also look forward to just seeing how some of these young players develop, whether that's Avery Hodge, a Quincy Lilio, a Hannah Core, maybe someone like that maybe they just haven't gotten a lot of opportunities yet. But this year, with them needing to replace someone like a Grace Lyons, who can maybe step into these leadership roles, be really just someone that the team can turn to when, or maybe it's a player that's just clutch. That whenever they need someone to step up and make a play, they can do that.
Hey, one more thing on Avery Hodge. I just love her number. I don't know what it is, 82. I think that's crazy. Dude, I think that's a great softball number. I really do. I don't know why she wears 82. I'd be interested to know. I didn't see it when I was reading stuff about her, but man, that's a pretty cool number, I think.
Yeah, and Jackson brings up the stolen base aspect. I mean, look, if there is one area, and I'm not even – guys, viewers, don't take this out of context. If there was a weakness – I mean, if you look at it statistically, OU wasn't way up high on stolen bases, frankly, because they didn't need to steal a lot of bases because they go yard all the time. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why do they need to steal bases?
They don't. But what I'm saying is she does bring that, and so do others on the team. But so the stolen base aspect is also something that Avery Hodge brings to the table. And something else you guys could do is, I'll tell you what's a steal is subscribing to this channel. With the amount of content that the Sooner Surge is bringing your way, it's a steal. Click the button, subscribe, okay? Tomorrow, we talk about another Sooner softball athlete that did not, that because of injuries and other things, did not play. It's Hannah Core tomorrow, guys. So stay tuned for that video. Till next time, Boomer.
Boomer.